What is up with this LUT? Yo, is this working? Yeah, it's working. Actually, I want to record this. Can you hear me? Do we hate what this LUT is doing? Oh my gosh. I also need to figure out, I want to record this audio. What's the best way to record this audio when I'm using the Zoom? Why, and also why is the LUT breaking the image? Maybe we do this instead. Not fancy. Tyler, you probably know about this. I'm using this Lumix, like the S5, just like piped in, and I'm using the like Lumix tether to try to operate it. But it doesn't ever, like the LUT that comes through on the HDMI, I'm going through like just like a Cam Link 4K. It always makes the LUT look terrible. Never used a Lumix. Sure. Now, how do I record some audio to the old computer? What? Why did I think that you used a Lumix? Okay, I don't know. That's my bad. Are you like a Komodo X right now or something and a Pixis? I wonder if I can record to Rode through this. I bet I can if I try real hard. Nope. Great. That's a lot of cameras. Why do you have so many cameras? Okay, here we go. I'm going to record this audio. All right, there we go. Just wasting data. Okay. Yeah, talk to me about that. Why are there so many cameras? KX1 requested C50 for little jobs. Ursus any 12K, Pixis 12K, and a Pixis 6K. Do you charge for these things? I'm trying to get like more info on how people price things, because like I've kind of done my own version of stuff for a long time, and I haven't really looked at the market otherwise, but I started the Skool community. I've been talking to people. I'm just curious how people charge for things. I think people aren't charging for their cameras anymore, which I could get the sentiment, but you feel like you gotta charge. You gotta charge for the camera if you want to make more money. Underlove. Why does that? Your little profile photo is too small, but for some reason it looked like you were spam for a second. PMDs for the real. KX isn't worth selling. C50 for client. KX isn't worth selling? What do you mean? Because you bought it for like 15K to kit it out. And I guess when you go to sell it now, it's not the. So I charge for my service and build that in pricing. Rarely get hired to DP. Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense. So you're putting in there. You're coming up with some sort of margins that make sense to have all these cameras. I mean, I'm down to have multiple cameras. I actually sold my Komodo, and now I got to get this Nikon ZR. I've just been putting it off because I've been paying for other things. I do have the old Pixis 12K over here. Did yours have the banding problems, Tyler? Oh, and everyone ignore this mic setup. I know you've seen it in the last few videos, but this little Rode mic just stopped working. And so I had to like just throw on my other boom mic. And this is this is the only way I could mount it. So Tyler, you run as a production company. So you're doing like all the editing. Are you doing any creative consumption on that? Or like, I mean, like producing, not consumption, creation? Or is it like you're getting hired by agencies? You've seen it, but noise reduction eliminates it. Yeah, I'm also thinking like downscaling later would eliminate a lot of it. When I made my video and like posted about it, like with YouTube compression, no one could see it at all, even when I zoomed in. So it definitely like goes away, but it's still like irksome to be like, oh, I spent $6,000 on a body and it has issues when like no other camera should have those issues right now. Direct to client. Right on. Smaller market, yeah. Is it how much of that is social? Like how much are you always doing a social deliverable? I mean, that's common across the board now, but I still curious, like if there's a vertical social in that. It's been like happening more to me. Like the open gate has seemed more desirable. I mean, my Monstro has a big sensor. It's obviously not tall, and I will frame for social if they need it, or we'll even shoot a second shot if we need it. But often it's like they're like, we need a social, but maybe don't stress it like a social size, and then it just kind of looks bad later. I actually haven't picked up this Pixis in so long. It's just been like background. I was on set like 4 days last week and I just haven't done a lot of other stuff. I'm curious about this little guy here. I should shoot on it some more before I send it back. It's very like, I mean, yeah, it has like the noise and the banding patterns, but it's a very like modern feeling camera, which of course it's a modern camera, but it's just like the colors are so clean. It like doesn't have a look. I just miss cameras having looks. That's why I think I still shoot red, because it does have a look. Yeah, it is nice when it's not too much cropping. My Monstro is cool, but it's got the wider sensor, not the taller sensor, which is like not useful. It only just like adds vignetting with lenses, gives more resolution problems because The Blackmagic footage played back on my computer perfectly. Still, the 8K red footage without the correct hard drive will like not play back amazing. No, so the Monstro is the full frame. Gemini is like a little bit bigger than Super 35. It's like a 1.4 or something like that. I don't remember exactly crop. But Monstro is like the really big, wide Vista Vision. It's the same as the Raptor, identical to the Raptor in size. So like a 16 by 9, 8K out of it chops off the sides, kind of like, Cinema 4K or whatever, DCI 4K. But the sensor's still like just bigger, just generally. So like if you put like my thigh pox on the Nikon ZR, there's no vignetting on the full frame because it's a 36 millimeter sensor, whereas the Monstro is a 40 something millimeter sensor, and so you're still getting more real estate. What's up, Harry? I'm extremely curious about the Blackmagic autofocus. I don't like use autofocus on my actual like workflow, other than obviously for this sort of stuff. But it seems so nice that you can just have it in a camera like that, because the Blackmagic's 6K full frame is it's a camera I would recommend to most people. And so it is kind of nice that you could have that if you needed to. Pretty cool that they finally did it. It took them forever to do it, and I wish they could transfer that over to the 12K, but the 12K is a totally different sensor design, and I'm guessing there's a pretty serious hardware limitation because they didn't buy that one off the shelf like the 6K sensor that already is designed to have that autofocus built into it. Aspect ratio of the Monstro. It's not as tall as a Gemini sensor in aspect ratio, if that's what you're asking. There's a little bit more room, I think, on the Gemini. Yeah, the autofocus looks crazy. Also, I like its dampening seems nice from a couple of the videos I watched. The 2 minutes of videos that I watched. I don't know if I'll like review one, but I was curious just to like play with one. Just to know. I like to kind of get my cameras on just so I can recommend things to people when they ask. And so I've had my hands on them. So I've been kind of thinking about borrowing one just to see. I guess I don't need these headphones. It's not like anyone else is talking. Force a habit. Drinking this coffee in the afternoon is a terrible idea, but I really wanted one. So I thought I would just jump on here. We have a little coffee hour. I'm a minimal coffee in the morning. Otherwise, the sleep is bad. I know a lot of you can just drink coffee all day, and I envy that, but it actually winds me up. We've got 6 people in the chat. What's everyone up to this weekend? What are we shooting? If you watch my last video, are we shooting some spec stuff this weekend? Are we going to go out there and actually make something? Or are we just going to chill around and watch more stuff? Also, I made a Skool community. Everyone should join so we can just chat every day. And I'll probably do more live streams over there, probably more dedicated live streams with an actual intention at some point. I don't know what I'm going to do with the community, but it's something that I'm going to like go hard on this year, I believe. So you should definitely join over there. The link should be in the description if you want to go check it out. Well, Tyler, you're working, so That's fine. I just know that, like, some people, they're not there yet, they're not working enough, so they need to be making some stuff. I'm just trying to get out here and encourage people to make some stuff. Gotta always be making stuff. Yeah, the Leica Rs are nice too. I bet that looks really clean. Like, very, like, what's the word? I always, like, think of the word, like, open. Like, low contrast a little bit with the Leicas, like, just like this, like, airiness. I bet that looks good. Hello, hello in the mind. I'm also not shooting this weekend. Um, but I've got, like, all these short films. If you watch another one of my videos, I was talking about how the more you create something, the more you get asked to create more of it. Well, seeing as I've been doing all this narrative, like last year, I shot another feature film and some short films, and now I just put myself out there to shoot short films again. So I've just been getting hit up. So I've had, like, multiple meetings, and I've got a meeting this weekend about another short film. So it just seems like I'm going to be doing a bunch of narrative stuff. And these are just, like, for fun things. These aren't, like, getting paid or anything, but I love shooting narrative. So that's what's coming up on my agenda. I also have 3 shoots next month, but clean but green on green image. Komodo X being so magenta actually looks neutral with Leicas. Interesting. I think the last time I shot in the Leicas, I was on, like, they forced me to use their camera, which I always fight, but I think it was like an FX9 because it was a part of this, like, bigger project. Um, and that's when I shot on the Leica, and I didn't notice that. Looked pretty clean. I guess there was a little bit of magenta in the skin tones. Wait, no, you're saying green. Green on green, huh? Is that really a problem? I don't ever, like, worry about shifts. Like, if it's raw and I can just you can just adjust that simply, or on the shooting lot adjust that. Picked up a Blazar Talon. I haven't used any of the Blazar lenses. All of my friends in town have them. They got, like, and I haven't even tested them. I'm just like, I haven't had any reason to be using any of the anamorphic stuff. But I'm curious about some of that new stuff that's, like, less anamorphic. Um, Alec, get ready to go on a shoot. Very nice, very nice. Friday night, Friday afternoon shoot. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Are you getting paid? Because I guess that would make it a good thing. Gonna shoot some nighttime tests with the ZR. Nice. Be ready for some noise if you don't have a little bit of light. Joe Black quiz. Spencer's celebrity. There are only 8 people. Bro, I'm not a celebrity. Dang it, it's getting hot in here. Should I make up some excuses why there's no people here? Probably because I decided to go live 10 minutes ago and then just turned on the camera. I didn't like give anyone a heads up. If you want a heads up, and I'm gonna be shamelessly plugging my Skool community because I want to talk to people. I want to do more of this. So go over, sign up for my Skool community, and I will be having set coffee hours on there hopefully soon. Like, I'm trying to figure out how that works with my schedule, and there might be times, obviously, as a freelancer, that I have to go out and do stuff. But I think like a once a week standing thing would be cool over there. So hit that link. Alec, it's a short 1.5 hour event. Shoot some B-roll, interviews, easy money. Oh, hell yeah. Friday night events. Maybe I'll give you some food at the end of it. Maybe it'll be nice out. It's not nice out here. It dropped 30 degrees yesterday. Leicas are warm and green, love it. At least my set, which is older, I did a comparison video between the KX and the Pixis 12K and used my Leicas. You should see the difference. The KX is magenta. I've shot so much on the KX now. But the skin tones are very interesting. The new like red color is very interesting. It's like I get bored with cameras really easily, and I think what I've had the Monstro over a year now, and I'm like, Red put out another trade-in option, which I'm not gonna do this because like the Monstro is so good, and I just don't need to. But they were like they're giving like 10 grand for Monstros, which is basically like what I paid for mine. If you trade in and get a Raptor X, so not the XE, which sad. But the skin tones, you know, I see movies watching Tron, the new Tron. I'm like, I like these skin tones. The Monstro has the old color science a little bit, and it's just like a little more saturated, which you can tone down, of course. But the new red color has this like muted look to it, which I feel like all the other cameras right now just look clean and natural, just colors. Whereas like I still feel like red has a look. Venice has a little bit of a look. Arizona, that's nice. I bet that's real nice. Let's see, what do we got here? That's a long name. I'm not going to read all of it. Are the Suray Nightwalkers comparable even with the DZO Vespids? Is it worth the upgrade? I have the Suray. It's worth the upgrade for a short film. I wouldn't stress it for like a short film thing. The Vespids are nicer for sure than the Nightwalkers. The Nightwalkers are cool because of how cheap they are and how small they are. They're only Super 35 though, right? So, but like the little like, and like a little FX30 or like a little pocket with the Suray, that's just a nice economical situation. But no, the Vespids are a little bit nicer, and then the Vespa 2s seem to be a lot nicer than that. I don't know if like I would be going out and buying new stuff for a short film, but I would focus on the story and the lighting. You know, color it real nice. Joe Blackwood, just for fun, what's your dream camera at Lex 35 or Venice? You asked me what my dream camera was, but then you gave me two options. Maybe this sounds completely odd, but I have zero. Like, I don't want to shoot on the Alexa 35. You're not going to be creative. It's got too much dynamic range. I love constraints. If you know anything about my personality, like give me some constraints and a challenge and put me in a box and let me work my way out of it. Alexa 35 doesn't have the old color science, so it doesn't even look like Alexa. It doesn't have like Alexa Mini has the sauce. And then, all that dynamic range, I have zero interest. It's super power hungry, super heavy, super expensive. No interest. Venice, I've shot on Venice plenty of times. It's great. If I were to buy another camera, it'd be a Raptor. The red hate or not, I would buy Raptor. See you, Tyler. Are you gonna join the Skool community or what? What's the deal? Enjoy your weekend. Oh man, let's get juiced up on some coffee here. Where are the coffee nerds at? I know we got the camera nerds. Where are the coffee nerds? I'm drinking this washed Ethiopia that I roasted. 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how I brewed it, not roasted it. Yeah, okay. Joe, you tell me. Lex 35 or Venice? I think the Venice 2 would be a good compromise coming from like red cameras, like between an Alexa and the red cameras. Would I like internal NDs, the big thing, and then also just the size. I'm finally slimming down my Monstro package, and it's just getting so much smaller. So nice. Okay, I gotta turn down this heat. Maybe my wife will do it. Let me text her. Anyone see Wuthering Heights or some new movies recently? I'd be curious to hear some takes on that one. Joe, where'd you go? Joe Blackwood. Do you have any questions from the chat today? Now's your chance. Get them in. There we go. Dream as an existing was what I meant. Sorry. I'd say Alexa Mini LF. There you go. Alexa Mini LF. Here we go. We got some questions. For someone branching out in production, how would you recommend networking to get people to work on your projects? Yeah, this I'm finding this through line with these where people are at right now and the landscape. Networking is definitely a big one. From my personal experience, there's a couple things you can do, and one of them is going to sound a little annoying maybe, but I do think, and I've talked about this recently a lot on the channel, but I do think if you make stuff that just images that you like, that'll attract other people that like those types of images too, right? And maybe they'll hit you up to do something, to work together. If not, you need to already have that on your Instagram or your website or your reel, whatever. But then cold messaging people really is way more effective than you think. Like, people in your area want to make stuff, or they're making stuff. They need hands. They need support. There's no reason you shouldn't do that, right? What's the worst that can happen is hey, I can't work. I don't have any jobs or projects right now. But at least they know who you are. Literally slide into people's DMs. Comment on things. Just be cool, be nice, be easy to work with. That's really. It's kind of crazy how important that is. But I really will just go back to make stuff. If you're not working, you're not doing stuff, make stuff, because people are attracted to other people that are doing stuff. That'll put off this level of look at that person, look how ambitious they are, look at what they have their own internal motivation to go do stuff, right? So if I have them on my set, they're going to bring that to the table. So definitely just always be making stuff. And I know that people have cost concerns with that. I mean, make stuff for free, make it cheap. If you have just a camera, even if you have an iPhone, just go shoot some stuff and then post about it. I don't know, try to find local communities. There's always filmmaker events going on in small markets and stuff like that. I don't think that would be that hard. And that'll grow over time. Offer to be a PA if you have to, do little stuff like that. Get on sets. Once people know who you are, you're in their little database, right? You're in their little file system. So I'm sorry, I flipped this. You said to work on your projects? Recommend networking to get people to work on your projects. Same thing, opposites. Message people and ask them. People are really striving for connection right now, and also working connections, and people are kind of down. So, I mean, I've always found that people will hang out. They'll come work. Benjamin, what about you? Are we talking about movies? Because I did see Wuthering Heights. I think I just decided I don't like that director very much. Extremely fun movie to look at. The hottest take is, do we like the cinematographer because he's shooting Dune 3? And he's, to me, he's very inconsistent. He knows how to shoot on film. He knows how to make something look good, but he does not really have a style. He kind of like has to have the director tell him what to do. And I feel like his perspective is really odd. Like his vocal links are always all over the place. And I'm very curious to be like see how the Dune 3 is going to go, not having Greg behind the helm on that one. Facebook groups, yep, totally. Facebook groups. There's probably always one in a market near you. Like I know that we've got a couple in like my city that just even like gear, people were like selling gear and stuff. You can go in there. I think that networking people like are like always having events for that. You just have to show up and do it. You just have to show up. Even if you don't talk to that many people, but like having your face there, people recognize you. Orbits, get into the orbits. Oh, dang it. Okay. What'd you say, Benjamin, before? Thing I said before it. I don't see. Did you say something before it? When? Oh, right on. Focusing on writing. Yeah, and that's the thing about set too. So like if you're on that creative side, the like pre-production side, the writing side, it's a pretty big learning curve going on to the other side. So, I mean, you could even have some scripts or have some ideas and see if other people can execute them for you and just like show up and learn. But I dig it. Always be making stuff. I should make merch. Always be making stuff. Make cool shit. Does industry feel financially viable going forward? I think, yeah. Yeah, I think the industry is always going to be financially viable. I think there's always scares. The AI scare right now isn't. I think Luke Forsyth made a great video over this, but the human element's always going to be there. But besides the AI thing, I mean, it's just a matter of like where you want to position yourself. So like the market changes before people shot film or whatever, and it's like you had to be a really good technician to be on a film set and learn how to do that. And then once we went to digital, it was like now what's been happening more, I think the kind of what I'm seeing is you're starting to wear more hats. You're starting to be more well-rounded on what you can do. You're like I still work as just a working DP, but the fact that I know how to do all the other stuff is a bonus, right? And it can help you move around the market if you need to, or you could just be like a production company. But it's about like kind of what do you want? Do you want to just pay the bills? Do you want like financial freedom? Do you want like a ton of money? Do you just want to be a DP? Do you just want to direct? Like, what do you want to do? And then try to figure out how that position can work going into the future, because it's always going to be changing. It's just a matter of like what you want, and then trying to figure that out, trying to like align yourself with that. Because like say you're just a DP, it's a different model than like a one-man shooter. The DP, you're coming on as a kind of like an athlete on a team. You're providing a service essentially. So like, but you can charge for your quality of work, what you're capable of doing, like how good your images are. You can charge for that, and then you can work on like a bunch of shoots, so you're not having to go out there and necessarily like get the clients. Like you're being hired on, someone's already doing that selling for you. Whereas if you're like on the other side, if you're more like trying to be more agency, you have to go sell, right? As a DP, you're selling yourself too, but that's just about like cranking out good work and being a good person and having fun, right? So it's just like picking those lanes and then pricing accordingly. Like, um, how much money do you need to make, and how can you charge differently to make sure you make that? And what can you do to have leverage? Can you have gear that gives you leverage? Like me, I have like the full cinema camera package and I have a van and I show up with all of that every time. Now I don't always like package that as a rate, but you could if you got into a position where you're like, they can't afford this, but I can show up with those things anyways. There's so many ways you could do it. And although AI is going to encroach, I do think that like if you're working in mid to small markets or even large markets, like people want to see themselves on TV. They want to see themselves on screen. They want to see themselves in their social content. They want you to film them. Like, and so that's what's going to happen. Are there any similar YouTubers you enjoy? E.g., I'm loving Clever Ghost. Clever Ghost, he's cool. I've chatted with him a little bit. It's kind of a very interesting kind of style he has. I love that he's a 5.6 aperture shooter. Gotta love that. His dedication to the stop down lens. I don't watch a lot of that style of YouTube anymore. I don't watch a lot of camera YouTube anymore. Really just, big shout out to GX Ace, Casey. he's a homie making full cinematic events. I love what Cam Mackey's doing. He's out there just like, once again, making stuff. He's making stuff. He's trying to tell stories. Love that. Danny's always a good watch. These are more of those like one man band type things, right? And so I like I like productions. I like to like have the lights. I like to have the crew. Like that's my workflow. So that's more my style. Victor, if you don't mind sharing, what's one creative goal that you have for 2026? Oh, I'm learning this year. I'm trying to support more. So, but I will get to the creativity side of that in a second. But like, so from this side of things, I'm trying to connect more live streams, more community building, just hanging out with people, giving back a lot more this year. I've done a lot of the other stuff. I'm trying to do more of that. That's why I started the Skool community. Go sign up for that if you want to chat. I'll be on there every day. But like I've been doing these short films, and what I'm doing this year now is I'm working with writers and other directors, rather than trying to spearhead the whole thing by myself, which I've done a lot, and it's been fun and great. And I still I can work on my writing quite a bit, but I'm working with some other people now. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like learn where I can fit a little bit more collaboratively. Like, so kind of being this like DP producer, like creative producer is something that I'm trying to kind of lean into this year. So like with my short films and feature films, it's like, how can we make a thing? But I really like the aspect of like, how do we then get people to watch the thing or get the thing into festivals or sell the thing or whatever. Like that's really fun for me. So trying to figure out how I can support people. I did this a little bit last year too, but like I show up, I DP it, I bring all my gear, all that stuff. But then I also like, how can I help it? Like see it through to the end. How can I get it finished with people? And then how can we get the word out about it? That's really what I'm trying to focus on a little bit this year too. But once again, it comes back to just making stuff, like making stuff. And then the other part of the creativity and the goal, I really want to shoot more dirty. I want to get dirty this year. Kind of lean back into the vintage vibes. I've been kind of shooting a very clean look the last few years, but with this whole AI thing, and I've had just a couple. Actually, we had a shot recently where the editors actually thought that the shot was AI when the stuff was the files were handed off, but it was just like our shot just looked so clean. It was a Pixis 12K with a perfect focus pull on a push, and people just were like, "Is this AI?" And so this year I wanted to just like dirty up the frame again, go back to 2020, filters, vintage lenses, mood. Maybe we're using haze again. I just want to like make everything look. No, I wouldn't even just say moody, but that's kind of the goal this year. I think I'm gonna start seeing if I can push it onto some shoots. What's your go-to lens on the Monstro? I've just been shooting on the Typox like exclusively. They vignette on the Monstro. The Monstro sensor is very large width, and it's like this blue green vignette. So I've been shooting a little bit cropped in sometimes. Sometimes I just remove it in post. Sometimes I lean into it. But I'd love the 35. The 28's fun too, and I shoot on the 50 a lot for stuff that doesn't need to be like so wide. But yeah, I just have the Thypox. That's what I've been using. But like I said, I'll probably be breaking out my Canon FDs more or putting filters in front of the Thypox this year. Maybe experiment with some anamorphics, assuming that social content doesn't get in the way of that. Can we see the AI shot? I don't know if I have it. The other reason was we had a gravestone in the shot, and one of our production design buddies like made it. And I think that all those combinations, like a gravestone that looks so real, even though someone made it by hand for us, it was a perfect push, and it was shot on the Blackmagic Pixis 12K on the dual lens, just like not a lot of lighting, just some sunlight. And shout out to my friend Jared Estevez, who was the AC on that. He just nailed the focus. And so all those things coming together, I think the editors were just like, is that a real shot? Like, is this just fake? Because there was some AI stuff, I think, in that film. So I think there was a couple shots that he had imported. So they were just like, it was in their mind. But there's just more of that, right? There's just gonna be more of that kind of stuff. I also made a shot, this like local Super Bowl commercial. Uh-oh. Hold up. I'm trying to record and my camera just stopped recording. So I'm gonna have to do that. But I shot this local Super Bowl commercial and there was a lot of AI in it, and people couldn't tell the difference between my shots and the AI. And I was like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? So definitely have to change the perspective a little bit on like where my influence lies on the AI shots too. Like, this is that repositioning thing I was talking about earlier. Like, you got to reposition yourself now with AI. It's like, okay, how do I get in the room? If they're going to use it and I have no control over it, right? If that's what's going to happen, then like, how do I get in the room to influence what that shot looks like? Now, I wasn't in the room on the ones that people didn't notice, but like, could I have added like my sauce to it? Could I have helped the prompt? Or some things that we've been doing is like, I even shot a shot and I think they imported that and used that as a reference to make it AI later. Like, they changed some stuff, like they added some stuff to it, but like the camera movement, the lighting, and all of that was me. It just was then like turned into an AI shot. And like, is that going to happen more? I don't know. Hold on, I got to figure out how to roll some footage. Two shades. The battery door just opened? What is happening? Oh, I might run out of card space. Whatever. Stop and re-roll this. The whole AI thing is interesting. I'm not too like afraid of it. Like, I don't think it's gonna take our jobs. It's just a matter of like, how are we gonna use it now? How is it going to be a part of the workflow? Love to hear more about the short films you've made and how you found wading in the water with the camera, fighting off the bugs and the lights. That was a feature film. That was a feature film, and it about killed me. Yeah, there was a legitimate snake in the water behind me while we were shooting that, and no one told me about it till later, which was great because you don't want me like thinking about a snake. The bugs we just dealt with, just like one of those things. In the middle of the summer in the Midwest here in the United States, and then just like hot and bugs just flying. There, a spider built a web, and then like was in the center of it. I think within 30 seconds of us putting up a light between trees, and that was wild. But I had the Komodo in the water. I had like I forgot what it's called. It's like a rain bag thing that goes around it. What's it called? They're really just like, it's not even like a rain bag. It's called like a coat or something, and it's just supposed to be for like a little bit of sprinkles. You basically throw it away afterwards. And then I was on top of that floaty. Just risked it, you know. Talking about AI, quick thought about it. I see it only as a wonderful sketching tool for look and feel. uh you might think that, but people be using the AI for legitimate things. We used it for like a set extension. Like it's getting used, and it's getting way good now, right? So I think it's a matter. I think if you just treat it like VFX, they're gonna do the VFX anyways. It just can be done right in a tenth of the time for a tenth of the cost. That doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. Like the VFX was going to be in there regardless. So this is where we're at. And like I'm not Disney. Like if Disney's using AI to make a movie, I'd like totally against that. Hate that. Don't love that at all. Um that's basically what Marvel already is. It's all green screen anyways. Avatar is like basically not real either. So that's kind of what they're doing, right? It's like what I did is I shot the shot and then they like imported that shot in and then changed it into something else. That's basically what Avatar is, right? It's just all tracking and then becoming an animated film. Been using the Thighpox. All right, have fun. Thanks. Shoot something this weekend. AI grateful for sizzle reels. Yeah. Like I don't know, like I don't really want to talk about AI, but it's like it's just encroaching. So it's like I guess we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about how rich I am because I got these drives. I have like 10 of these. Let's see. These are like 1 or 2 terabytes. This one's 2 terabytes. These are like $500 now. What's where's everyone else? I'm trying to figure out a lot about the landscape. Like it's so fun to like make the YouTube videos and post them, but I don't know like who you are, right? And that's why I'm starting the Skool community because I want to like get to know everybody. So sign up for that if you're interested. But like, where are you guys at in your career? Like, if you could give me like some quick things here, like, are you a one-man shooter? Are you a wedding shooter? Are you doing corporate stuff? Are you a DP? Like, where are you at in your career? Like, I understand like the YouTube landscape and what people are, watching out there and stuff, but like, let's get down to brass tacks here and like what's going on out there. Maybe you're just a beginner. You haven't done anything yet. Maybe that's fine. I would just like love to know what the kind of spectrum of the audience is. Feel free to share. I really wish I could get this LUT to work better on my stream here, but for whatever reason, check this out. You want to see this LUT just like destroy the image? So we can go vlog. The LUT looks fine on the monitor, but look at that. So let's not. Top fans. What does that mean, top fans? If you want to chat more, I'm going to drop that. I'm going to drop my Skool link down in the comments here as well for everybody. Does everyone know about Skool? It's like this kind of new platform, and I'm digging it. I think it's going to be a really cool place, especially just like where YouTube's going and where the internet's going. And I think things are just going to change a lot. And I think that Skool will be a fun place because there's more interaction going on over there. Because there's so many people that are just like watching videos, but I'm not getting to hear from you guys. I wonder how long before this card runs out. Also, so surprised that this Lumix just looks so nice in here. Any more questions, or does anyone want to volunteer where they're at in their career? I'm just so curious. So many one-person shooters I've been discovering, which is great. That's fun. It's like, what's everyone's dream job? How about that? My coffee's gone. That's sad. I feel like I want to do like a color grade, a live color grade. People are always asking about that still on one of these live sessions. I thought I was going to color grade a commercial this week, and then they were all talking about, the client was like, got to get this done in 5 days, and then they've never messaged me. So hopefully they didn't color grade it without me, because that's the worst. Pro tip. I've basically just been offering color grading for free now, as like a part of just being the DP, because you just never want the footage to get handed off and then get changed into something else. And that can so often happen. So I just am like, I'll do it. Like, they can use my shooting LUT to start, but I'd rather just do it myself. It doesn't even take that long, especially if you kind of follow my workflow of like having a shooting LUT. And then that sidecard in the camera, and then that ends up in the edit. And everything should be already like at a nice baseline when you do it that way. So if you're trying to capture everything in camera, that you shouldn't have to do much anyways. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll do it. And then I can take my power grade, throw it on the footage, adjust levels, adjust tint. I don't even do a lot. I'm really like strict about like keeping it simple, but that's still better than having the agency or whoever you're working for just do whatever they want with the footage. Victor, I focused on writing when I got my film degree. I was too broke to shoot anything myself. LOL, I used to work in production a few years ago, live TV. Right on, right on. Too broke. Man, I don't know. I feel like there's a limiting beliefs here, like with that. I keep hearing that. Like, I feel you could shoot in your house. You could shoot. well, I understand writing, you can write some bigger ideas, but like what can you shoot by yourself or what can you shoot with a couple friends, for free? What do you have access to? That's really like a motivation thing. It's like getting out there and doing it. Thanks, Joe. London VFX artist, small YouTube channel with 9,000 subs, FX3 one man band. All right, so that's like, so you're doing a lot of things. Like, I wonder, I feel like that's kind of what I was referring to earlier about like wearing many hats. Like, a big thing is like revenue streams essentially, which sucks, but it's like, okay, you got three things there. Like, okay, is your FX3 one man band stuff? Is that just like some random gigs or is that just for your YouTube? But also you're a VFX artist. It's like that's like this interesting place that a lot of people live in. And I've been talking to some people, and it seems like people don't really want to be wearing all like they don't want to be wearing all the hats, but it's just kind of the position that's happening now. Exhibition work mainly on the FX3, yeah. I don't know. I don't think that like the days of just being a DP as just that role are gone by any means. I think maybe it's just a little more competitive than it used to be. But I mean, you just gotta make good images to get that role. Big believer in the spec work. And if you've seen my last couple videos, like I'm really honing in on that. But if you aren't shooting the type of stuff you want to make, then how are you going to get hired for that? Right. So, I mean, if you want to do the one man FX3 stuff, then you're doing it. But if you like just want to be like a DP as a role on a bigger set, then you have to be trying to kind of position yourself in there. And then narrative stuff, man, we got a mixed audience here. Same thing with the narrative stuff. People wear a lot of hats in the narrative community, which kind of it has to happen because there's not really a lot of money in the narrative community, right? So like that support is harder. This is like for the love of the game. I'd be the T-boy to get on real shit. Totally. Totally. And in London too. Yeah, I found it really interesting when I shot over there because that's actually a pretty, and this was a while ago. This is a long while ago, but that's a good market, right? That city, like that's a pretty good market to be in. You could be on a lot of stuff. I still think but that, like, honestly speaking to that though, like the tea or the coffee runner, that is tricky. You could do that for like a little bit, but I mentioned this in like a couple videos back, but like you could really get stuck in that role. Like it's almost like you need to show up, which I know people do this already and people get made fun of it, but so you need to show up with like a something on your shirt that says like I'm a shooter, even though you're running coffee. Like, don't ask me for coffee, ask me for my reel. Which people hate. But I mean, how else are you gonna do it? You gotta be posting stuff. All right, we got a newbie. Hello, Spencer. First of all, I wanted to thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Heck yeah. I love it. Love sharing the knowledge. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for being here. Joe, have you tried to get on the bigger sets in London? I bet it's competitive. But they have like, legitimate crews there. I have found that that's trickier on the film side. I don't know about the commercial side, but they're very like in their lanes. and they're very like, "Don't take my job. I'm the best person at this thing. You can't have it." It's it's different. Do you have a favorite movie you go back to watch to get inspired? Depends what I'm looking for inspiration for. I've got a lot of rewatches for different reasons. For the last couple of years, I've been really watching movies for more of like the narrative writing side of it and like the movie as a whole. Um, so that's always like I've said it 1,000 times. The Social Network is something I used to watch a lot. Moneyball is something I used to watch a lot. There's like the go-tos. There's like the obvious ones. I just, like, don't feel like mentioning like any of the Denis stuff. I mean, Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival, a Dune goes without saying. But it's always like a vibe, like a certain look I look for now. Like when there's so much content now. There's so much stuff you could watch, and so when I like open up streaming services, like what am I gonna watch? I make myself like a list of constraints. I'm like, okay, what do I want to watch tonight? Why? So it's like, is it a thriller? Is it shot on these lenses? Is it by this director? And I try to like narrow that down, and that kind of helps me decide. There for a while, I just wanted to watch like old digital camera stuff. So I just be like, oh, was this shot on the Genesis? I'm gonna watch that movie. Like, there's like I have like weird parameters for that. I like watching movies from like the early 2000s and like the 2010s because there was still that intentionality of shooting on film like the old school way, but they were shooting on digital cameras, and like how they color graded, it just looks so much different than what things look like now. I don't really love how things look now. So I'll watch that stuff a lot. I'll go back to that a lot. Um, Also, just how movies are structured and made now bothers me a lot. Like the lack of first act bothers me a lot. And I love a first act. And so I'll look for movies that seem like they might structure things that way. Or I'll just like turn it off really fast if they're not doing like a fun first act. I was watching a lot of horror there for a bit, but I stopped and I kind of switched to watching a lot of drama. But lately, I've been just trying to build stuff, like build, make new things. I made my course, and I've been trying to like just do a lot of different stuff this year, making these short films and stuff. So I haven't been watching a lot of movies, and I have like one of those unlimited movie passes, and it's not been getting used, which sucks. I did watch Sentimental Value. I liked it all right. Um, Not punchy enough for me. And I don't, for whatever reason, the emotional like pinch at the end didn't really like. There was some weird disconnect for me where it didn't like happen very hard, but it was still like an emotional thing. Very meta, a movie about making a movie to a degree, which was interesting. And I like how that it did like explore being an artist and what that means and like how family works and those dynamics. Like I really liked what it was trying to do, but it didn't like punch me the way that I would love. Love a good punch to the gut, and like movies struggle to do that now. Oh, you cried when you watched the worst person in the world. Yeah. Different thing. Same vibe though. Like that director really does do that. And that's what I sort of was talking about Wuthering Heights earlier. It's one of those things. It's basically just like a music video. Like it hits all these things, but it doesn't actually do the story. It's like it's got the characters, it's got the visuals, it's got the music, it's production, right? But like it doesn't actually have the arc that I feel like the things just don't fire on all cylinders anymore. There's always one thing missing. Not to say that it wasn't always like that to a degree, but at least like they tried to have like a cathartic experience by the end of it. A movie that made me cry real hard was Come On" from a few years ago. Felt offensive. Come On," that movie Really profound experience. I'll share it here, like, because I went and saw it like this little like art theater, like museum theater with some friends, and we all had different reasons for like crying at the end, which I thought was really profound about that. Like, what a piece of art that can everyone can interpret it. They all watch the same thing, but all interpret it differently and are all crying for different reasons at the end. Like how it just like made you question certain connections in your life. Yeah, I would check out Come On, Come On. Like mostly shot, I think it's all black and white. And it was just what was really funny about it is I was there and then the credits roll and I'm just like completely compromised. The two people I'm with are compromised, my wife and another friend. And then there's like these ladies, these like 80-year-old ladies, and they like immediately get up and try to like walk away and like are stepping over us. And I'm like, how are you even moving? Like, shouldn't everyone be like sobbing right now? And they're like, oh, gotta go. And we're over there just like compromised. I was like borderline mad at them for even like just give me some space. Give me some space. So yeah, come on, come on. I put that on the list. Yeah, exactly. Hi there. What makes you say yes to filming a short story, scope, character, genre? Yeah, I do a lot of like I had one of these meetings yesterday actually with someone. I always before I even like have the meeting, I'm like, send me the script because you can tell pretty quick if it's something that you can like where like if it's something you're interested in, obviously. But this kind of approach that I've been taking, and I mentioned this earlier, but it's like this kind of DP creative producer role. I want stuff to like it's one thing to like have a script and shoot a thing, but like who are you doing that with? What are they capable of? And can we see it through? And if I'm gonna spend all this extra time and like it's just time, right? It's like maybe even spend money on it, then it's like it needs to be finished and go out in the world and be something. And so I kind of have to vet that. I'm like, okay, like what are you thinking logistically? How like sure of yourself, like the director or producer or whatever, like how like sure, like how confident are you of getting this thing made? What do we have access to? What can I bring to the table? Those sort of things. Scope a little bit, yes, like what's doable at the time. Um, I think genre to a degree. I've had a couple things recently where I'm like, I don't know genre wise if I want to do that. But and I've mentioned this a lot on my channels, but it's like on the channel. But like what is my perspective and what can I bring to the short? So like why should I work on it and what's that going to do for the short itself? And for me, like cathartically, like not being like selfish, but like how am I going to get fuel out of this? Right. So alignment, like everything kind of always comes back to alignment. So am I aligned with that project and what it's trying to be? Um, so I've got like three things that I'm about to work on probably. One is like this very atmospheric kind of horror thing, but it's like much more than that. I've got like another thing that's like a Western thing, very dramatic. And then I have this other one that's like comedy. And the comedy, it's like a campy comedy thing. And that one's like at the bottom of my list, but I still love it. And I still think I can make it with the person. And we can make it. But it's like it and I really like the script. But it's like it just got moved down because the other two kind of are like, ooh, like, oh, we can make something moody and atmospheric. We can play with tension. Like those things excite me, right? But I'm not like, yeah. And then like, what's the long game? Like, is it going to get turned into a feature? Are we doing festivals? Are we just putting it online? These things are interesting to me. I'm always curious what people are trying to do because the landscape is so weird now. It's so hard to release things. What things would instantly turn you off of script, tropes, genres? That's tricky. I think that there are definitely like the short film school tropes, right? That you got to be very wary of. Got to be wary of someone eating cereal. Got to be wary of an alarm clock starting off in bed with the character. Um, but it's like really, I like subtext a lot. So if I'm reading something and I can tell the dialogue isn't being obvious and there's like a dance happening in the dialogue, love that. Or like another script I read recently, I knew immediately after reading it, I was like, I don't fully get this, but not because of the script, but because I could tell that it's like a visual script and it's not like a shooting script. And so that's like hard about scripts. Like they're not, obviously not prose. So you're not like getting to fully visualize something. So then that was fun when I sat down with the director because I was like, you need to pitch this to me because now I'll understand more about it because the perspective that's coming from the director, which is how I write scripts too. My scripts are so simple that it's like hard to give them to someone and like then be like, oh yeah, because so much of it is like I'm seeing like the type of shots in my head, how long the lens is, like how close are we to the subject, the blocking in the room, those things. But if I can feel that subtext a little bit in the script, I like that a lot. Like that'll draw me in. Like people that are trying to do like 1 + 2 = 3 kind of stuff. Like how can I have you connect the dots and not just be so obvious? And there's like entertainment versus art, or like where art meets entertainment, like that kind of vibe. So trying to figure that out. Like what are they trying to do? You know, and what's like the best use of my time on it. What'd you miss? I don't know. We've talked about the Pixis. We've talked about Wuthering Heights. We've talked about the career. We're trying to figure out where everyone is at in their career. So tell me. I don't know how to. Is it Fox? Foe? Trying to figure out where everyone's at, what they do. That's what I would love to know. Because I'm trying to figure out like how to best like serve people this year. And um, the gamut is so wide. It's like people are haven't shot yet. We've got one-man shooters, we've got wedding shooters, we've got corporate shooters, talking head stuff. We have some DPs, and like, what's everyone's goals? I'm really trying to figure that out. Let's print out Fox. Right on, right on. Got really used to writing scripts that I'll shoot, and now I'm really focusing on not doing that. It's tricky. You got to almost have the pitch deck with it, a mood board with it, references with it, right? Because the script format, I don't really love. Like, I don't really love what it's about. I get why it was designed the way it is, but it's almost like there's another way of doing it, maybe. Yeah, that's where AI could come in. Just make the short film with AI first, That's happening so much though on my sets. Like pretty much all of the storyboards that end up, like the pitch decks I get now for commercials, they're AI. And it's getting kind of weird. The weird part about that, and I'm gonna kind of go off on a tangent here, but is that I don't want to recreate what they did, like what AI did, but at the same time, it's a really good reference point. Like there was one I got the other day, and they literally used an iPhone shot from the location, but then they ran it through AI, and then like the elements that they needed to put in the frame, I ended up shooting. And if you looked at them side by side, they're really close. Now they weren't captured with the same lenses, and obviously that sort of stuff wasn't there, and so I got to put my sauce on it that way. But it's kind of wild how close they were, and I think that's, you got to be careful of being like, well, the AI shot looks good. Should we just like try to recreate it in reality, and like trying to make sure that does, like, you still have your voice? I don't know. Tricky. We're in a tricky place there. But AI is not going anywhere. Like, it's here to stay. So unless all the SSD silicon footage, like storage, just cripples everything, it's not going anywhere. So, and as a DP, I don't have any power, right? So, yeah, the keying with it. Also, my friend who does do VFX, he has been using it to do like Luma mats, like Luma keys. You like import like a low res version of something you want to key out, and then you can do a Luma on it, and it makes like a perfect key. But I do wish they had the tools too. Like if they could give you assets back rather than a video file, that would really change how that operates. It would feel more like a tool if they gave you assets rather than giving you a video file that's also only 1080 or whatever. All right, I'm still a beginner, by the way. I recently picked up a Sigma FP after watching your review. Great, quirky little camera. Dang, that's an old review. Very quirky camera. Very cool for the time in the fact that it's so cheap and what it can do. Very cool camera. Simple enough too to get you started. Like simple enough in the way that you can learn how like a real raw image functions and you can get that quality. The camera itself is terrible though, right? Like using the camera, you want to shoot to like SSDs if you really want the raw, like all that stuff. Pretty terrible camera in that way. But it was kind of like a box with a sensor and a raw out. That's what that is, which is kind of all we used to want, but it's hard to justify that now. But I'm glad you're liking it, or I hope you're liking it. Does shoot stills too. Yeah, what's everyone shoot on? What's the we got 13 people in here. What's the top camera? So what's the top camera brand? Sony, Blackmagic. We got Sigma, Canon, Red. What do we have? Eugene, I think a lot of people have trouble actually starting. There's a bunch of tutorials, but not enough action. Totally. I think the action part, something that I kind of want to explore in the Skool community is like challenges, like actionable challenges, like getting, like trying to help with accountability. Oh, what up, Steven? Got an FX3 Pocket 4K. Komodo OG with the dual lens set. Love that. Love the dual lens on the Komodo. With the speed booster, I like it. The dual lens are a little slow, but I love the dual lens. Cheap camera challenge sounded fun. Yeah, cheap camera challenge is good. I think challenges could be cool. I think like just a reason to shoot something. It's like so YouTube has always been that for me. It's like always been a reason to shoot. Like I want to upload something. Let's shoot something. But not everyone has that sort of like reason. So if I could give people reasons, that'd be fun. Be really cool if I could get like a sponsor involved and then like give away lights or something at the end of it, or like a lens, or I think that could be really fun. You got the FX30 and an Ursa. Soon. What kind of Ursa? 12K? Yes, with the speed booster, of course. Okay, great. That dual lens flare, though, gotta watch out with that rainbow flare. Ursa Mini Pro 12K. Okay. The S12 or the ZR is a tricky thing. I think you could immediately just go, what do I actually shoot? And that would pick one of those. So like for me, the ZR is a no-brainer because I already shoot red. I just need that raw and I need to be able to put hypox on it. But like if you need autofocus, you do anything that's not like very controlled, then I would go S12. Like I think that's a pretty simple. If they could fix the H.265 on the ZR, it would just destroy. And surely they're gonna do that. And maybe there's a limitation, but they need to do that. Like that's a cripple hammer for sure. S35 Soldier. Hey, S35 is great. I know. Why can't they just like, I mean, they don't want to make a perfect camera, obviously, which is fine. The ZR price is what's crazy. Way crazy. I'm going to buy one soon. I had one in for loan and testing, and then I got caught up with some other stuff. So I need to like fix a car, but I'll buy one. I'll get the ZR at some point. I love VistaVision. I just don't feel like I have the budget to fill out the frame. I mean, you're going to be filling out that frame regardless of what camera you're shooting on. I'm not like a big proponent of like big sensors though. I'm not interested in the Eterna. The Eterna is cool, but like it doesn't do RAW, so it's like it's just 10-bit. It's way overpriced. The Eterna is way overpriced. Looks fun, but like, why is it $16,000? Like, nothing is 16. Like, you, yeah. Oh, I meant with the people. Everything else feels lifeless because there's only a couple people in the frame, and the set dress is lifeless. What do you? Why is it lifeless? Make it not lifeless. Take ownership of that if you can. I'm always a, if something is going on set that the other roles are falling short. Like, how can I influence those roles? How can I get in there and be like, could we put this color in the frame? Could we add this over here? You know, comes down to budget. I mean, you can fake a lot with a smaller frame. That's true. It's tricky though. I mean, it really comes down to like, can you show up? And maybe you need to bring something. That's what I'm saying. Like, the wearing many hats thing is annoying, but like, how can you make your image as best as possible? Do you need to keep plants in your car? Do you need to keep an extra couple colored shears in your car? Like, what can you do to bring that life? $15 people in here, and people are, it's, Friday night hangs. It's actually date night. I will have to get off of here in like 20 minutes. Date night is important. How do you feel about using a medium format speed booster on the Pixis? I think my speed booster days are over. That's what I think. It's so limiting. I did it for so many years, and it's just so limiting. In medium format is cool, but what, you have the Mamiyas and that's it? And the Mamiyas are cool, but like, I don't know. Set dressing and costume really push it from student film to pro, but I don't want another hat to wear. I said this in one of my videos though, like, it's your image. And directors will fight me on this, and I'm not throwing shade, but like, you run the set. Like, it's like your crew. Like, it's obviously not your set decorator, but get in there. Like, at the end of the day, you're showing up, and I feel like I'm feeling like I feel like there's this relatability here. Like, people are not getting a good enough image for what they're given, but like, how can you make it better? Like, it's your career. If we're talking about career, at the end of the day, like, you want some frames at the end of the day to help you get more work. You want those frames. That's part of the deal as a director. You get all the praise, but you also get all the criticism. You got to care about everything. Yeah. Director of photography. Like, and it's also an experience thing. So I run into this a lot too, because I end up working with directors that sometimes are less experienced than me, and sometimes not, of course, plenty of times not. But it's like, okay, so now I need to sort of influence the image even more. That's just from like a time thing, but I would still use that mindset. Oh, here I am saying the mindset here. DP mindset, everyone. I would still use that mindset. Like, how can I take ownership of it? Like, it's really, I said this in a couple videos back, but it's really just like asking the right questions beforehand. And so you don't have to show up and do the work, but like, if you can jump on one production call and ask just the right questions, so that people then are thinking about these things that they're not thinking about. They're not used to thinking that way. So if you can get in there and kind of, pull that out of them, and so like, oh yeah, we should be thinking about the background. Oh, we should be thinking about how deep the space is, or like, can we put some plants in there? Can we have them not wear white to set? Like, what can we have them thinking about ahead of time to help you to make your job better when you get to set? And this is on any scale. I talk about this ad nauseum in my course, but like, this is on any scale. It's like, if it's run and gun, can you move someone into a spot that just looks better? can you take them over there to try to always elevate the image? More side lamps. Heck yeah, like seriously, okay, that's the one thing. Would not hurt having like 4 different lamps in your car when you show up. And not film lights, lamps. Different shades, different colors. Always have some B7C bulbs so you can, change the color temp and the brightness. Um, yeah. Maybe a painting? Maybe you've got like a painting in there or like a rug. Like I don't do that, but like at least be getting the production to be thinking about it. Side lamps in your house is a vibe anyways, might as well double. Yeah. So you like every time you go to a set, I can just see it now. Like you wake up in the morning and you're just like grabbing all the lamps in your house and you're throwing them into your car. Requirement for 2026 as a DP is not that you show up with a camera and a lens, it's that you show up with lamps. Shit, that's actually really good advice. That's damn good advice. Okay, I think we all learned a lesson here today. I mean, I got one. Little table lamp, B7C in the top, which B7Cs do suck because they stick out the top. So you gotta like gaff them, or sometimes like last week I was on the set and we just like had to like lean it into it so it didn't stick out the top. Really stupid. But I've got 2 of these just in my office. You just grab these. Set design every room. I know I am the worst. Like, if you could see my office and how terrible it looks, I like to leave all that stuff for the shoots, not for my house. I got like nothing on the walls. Like, I'm gonna be shooting here as extensively now. Like, this is it. This is the setup. So I need to start set decorating. I do have a bunch of plants in here, but they need sunlight, so they're over there. But yeah, it's like how good of a set, how good does their house look? Is that how good of a DP they are? I hope that's not what people think. Okay, I've got a quick question for everybody. People that are working, do you feel like there's a correlation? Because I just want to hear your thoughts because I think I have my own answer. But do you think there is a correlation? Hold on, preface to give context to this. This is just your gut. Don't actually logic this, but like, do you think there's a correlation between how good your images are and how much you get hired? Like, do you have that belief? Is my question. Answer. There's 13 people here. I expect 13 answers. Could you imagine if I just like got on here just got crazy? I'll answer another question here while I wait for you guys to answer. Now there's 15 of you. I expect everyone to answer if they think that their image is directly correlated to how much work they get. Or invites to projects. It doesn't have to be work. If you're in it just for like short films or narratives. Do you feel that people are desensitized to good looking things? Are we past the point of making everything look like cinema? That's tricky. Depends what the definition of cinema is. I think that the landscape of content has confused things, and I do think we want authenticity and we do want lo-fi, but we also expect quality from certain avenues, right? You don't want a movie to look lo-fi, but you're down with like social media looking lo-fi, or YouTube lives somewhere in the middle sometimes, right? So it's like maybe yes, but like say we're working in the commercial world, you still better make that look good, right? Because that's why they're paying you, and can't get too philosophical about it. It's tricky. I think you have to have a good image, and then having a great network will get you those jobs. Yes, it's how I look at it too. Is that like the good image now is like kind of the minimum requirement, and I think this speaks to everything we're talking about here. It's not that you have to be like the best, but like you better have pretty decent looking images because of the democratization of everything, like, and because of AI and those other things. So like, And then the network helps you, how you work on set. I'm big into the workflow on set. Are you making things easy? Are you providing a lot of value? I feel like that's something that I try to do is like, and by taking ownership of the role and trying to make everything just be top notch, I'm asking a lot of those questions. So I'm providing a lot of value on that side. Because you could show up and just be like a human tripod, right? You could have the gaffer do everything, or you could be like, yeah, throw up a light, or don't throw up a light, or whatever. But like, what are you bringing to the table? That value matters after they've seen a good image, and then you make it to set. It's almost like having a good image is like how you get leads. That's a good way of looking at it, actually. Should I put that in my notes? Yeah. So good image paired with how friendly and adaptable you are. Exactly. How dedicated you are to the project versus, like you don't like an attitude and you don't want to be there. Are you good hanging out lunch? Do you make things easier? Like I show up with all of my gear. I feel like that's a thing that makes things really easy for people. They want convenience and I know my gear, so I really love bringing my own gear on set because then you don't have hiccups. Like just less resistance is a big part of it. So you have to make a good image, then you have to have less resistance. Eugene, I'm a director DP who doesn't post that much and have full-time local government video jobs. So when people find me, I think they want to make something very specific. I have to come with everything. So you say something specific. Is that because of like what I've been talking about? Like you have posted something specific and so they've been attracted to that. And so then you now have that's their expectation. This is where that question, like if that's what you're saying, this is where like jumping on the call and asking a bunch of questions to help set expectations. You don't even have to tell them things. If you just ask the right questions, it creates this like perspective shift for whoever you're working for. Do this with your pricing too. Say they can't afford you. Well, you need to be like, okay, well, I'll do it for a discounted rate, but next time I won't. Like next time, but these are my rates. You just have to say these are my rates though. Like this is how much it costs. And you have to stand by that, or you're going to stay in the lower markets. Okay, so you have the entire pipeline in place. Okay, so is this a bad thing or a good thing? Oh, it's a great thing. Perfect. You're a great case study for what I've been preaching then. Thanks to YouTube, good images are easier to get, so it kind of matters less. Personality, giving accommodations, and professionalism brings more work. Yeah, you have to have both, for sure. But then you go back to, and I know this is kind of my thing, but I go back to also like, what do I want from my lifestyle? So then you go and what you're about. So you sometimes have to say no to things if they're outside of your alignment. So you don't attract the wrong type of clients. So accommodate, yes, but have intention with whatever that is. And that can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Be careful about, I mean, I get like you can ethically or morally, like maybe I don't want to work for that company, you know? I don't want to get into like all of that here, but like I was a vegetarian for a year and then I showed up on a set and it was at a meat, like it was like at a slaughterhouse. And I was like, good thing I just started eating meat again, because that was rough. So like maybe I wouldn't have taken that job. You gotta think about those things too. Got asked to like film an abortion once. That was crazy. I said no to that. But great. Yes. Don't take a job if it's not within the budget because you have a full-time job. So that luxury is really nice. If you have that luxury, that's good. And if you don't have that luxury of having another gig to pay the bills or like a partner to pay the bills or whatever, then you do. If you are going to show up on set, once again, just like try to set expectations on set about what you are about, regardless if you need the money. And if you do something and you don't want people to see it, just don't post it. Like, just don't let people know that you shot that thing so you don't get more work like that. Yeah. Does anyone else pair a full-time job with a couple freelance gigs? I have been seeing this more. A lot of people want that stable income, and it's a little bit different with freelance until you've built up to it. But I do think if you go all in and try really hard, shoot a bunch of spec stuff, tell people what you're about, network, you can definitely still make it in the freelance world. You just have to like you can't wait around to be discovered. You can't chill. Your better half wanted to. Oh, okay, good. So Fox is same. My better half wanted a stable, or he's leaving. I don't know, a stable income. Yeah, it's almost like a requirement before you date. I'm a freelance DP. Beware. Right on, right on. You just went full time freelance. Big moves. I know that can be scary for people. Right on. You're watching my stuff to get started. Damon from Shark Tank said that your full time job is your first investor. No shame in doing that while pursuing freelance. Yeah. Don't let your boss know, but I've definitely that definitely is a thing. Dang, Eugene, we're talking like what 6 years ago. You've been following. That's some OG. It's an OG viewership right here. Is it Felipe? Philip? I don't know your name, but go hard. That's my recommendation. Go hard for a while. Set yourself up for success. Don't just don't chill. Bro literally copied everything you posted and landing a full-time job. Hey, that's great. I'm really happy for you. Okay, I think I'm gonna jump off here soon. Join the Skool community if you want to chat some more. Um, I, I think there can be some fun stuff over there. The link's in the description. I'll drop it again here. Yes. School will be cool. We'll do some, I think I'll do like a coffee hour over there. We just hang out. I'm thinking about some challenges. You get a discount on my course if you sign up over there. And we can just help each other. I mean, straight up. Also, I recently started color grading and regrading tutorials like your recent video. It helped me understand a lot. My recent tutorial. I guess I did that one where I regraded Hollywood movies. I think I'll do like a live color grading thing. I'll probably do that on Skool too. I am so surprised by like there's so much color stuff out there, but a lot of people I think it's really hard to grasp. And I think the reason that it's hard is because so much of it also depends on the shooting, in my opinion. Like how you shoot and how you light also dictates the grade so much. And so I think people get in the grade and it gets like, wait a second, why is this not working? What looks good? Um, but there's like a consistency to it. See you, Joe. You're the number one fan here. I like it. Okay, maybe I definitely need to do another coloring thing. You're gonna be amazed about how simple it is. I think a lot of the stuff too right now is that There's all these film emulations, like there's so much of that, but like you're not using that heavily like in commercial work. Like it's almost too vibey. I find like this middle ground where I'm doing some film emulation, but it's also like still just looks nice. Like and I say looks nice, like there's a cleanness to it. I mean that's just a style choice, but also, and I kind of want to make a whole rant over this, but you're going to start to see because of um, this type of color processing or the split toning. I have a bunch of images on my phone right now of big budget TV shows, and you can see that the blues are like clipping because of the separation, or like the reds because of all this film emulation. These colorists know what they're doing, but there's so much of that happening now because of this new look that people are trying to go for. And if you're not planning for that, it's something to be like weary of. Let's see if I can pull one up. Maybe actually, AirDrop like stopped working on my new computer, which sucks. You probably know what I'm talking about though. Maybe I'll just show the camera because like my AirDrop has not been working. But you'll start to see it. Look for it. Look for like blues in the background on modern like Netflix shows, or like saw one on Shrinking the other day. Big Apple show, big budget. Because of all this split toning, because we're trying to separate the colors out and make the colors look like film and not lean into whatever the camera is good at or the digital part of the sensor, the colors will separate so hard that you can see like it's like they're cut out. I personally don't love this. Let's see if I can show you this. I feel like my autofocus doesn't work here, but I'll show you. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna attempt this. Let's see if autofocus will work. Oh, come on. Just cover up my face. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, do you see that blue tint? Or the tent in the background? So see how it's like looks like it's cut out? That's because of like too much split toning that people are doing here. I zoomed in on it. Start looking for this on TV. Such an odd thing. But we're pushing the images so much. Like, let it just like be gradual and cool. Let's go back to 2010, man. Just like make it look good. All right, let me jump back in here real quick. Color grading is so frustrating. There's so much conflicting info on YouTube. Yeah, and that comes out of like the tool thing. It's like what looks good to you. Like it really comes back to that. There's a lot of info. If you do it my way, and I'll do a live stream on this on Skool. Like it's also in my course. I talk about it in my course. But like it just keep it simple. If you have to have the shooting LUT, have the shooting LUT and use that as your pipeline. And then you will notice if you're doing something that isn't looking right on set before you even get to the computer. And then when it's in the computer, smooth sailing, right? And it's like, what are you trying to do? It's all about intention. So if you have that intention before you go into it, then you have less. It's all about pipeline. I use Colin Kelly's Genesis, and you can take that out if you'd like. Yeah, I don't do any like I'm like a 3-4 node person. Unless I'm using certain things. It depends on what I'm trying to do. But and I don't do any of the like color management or anything like that. I'm like, don't want gamma shifts. I don't want to worry about that pipeline, which a lot of people do, and it does work. But I'm just a simpleton when it comes to that stuff. I just keep it simple. So it's just, what's the raw? Can I do a color space transform? 1 or 2 nodes for adjustments before the LUT. We'll do this. I'm telling you, join the Skool and we'll do it. Okay, guys, I'm going to get off. I'm getting hungry. I'm going to go hang out with my wife. Let's see. You've seen that color breakdown in your work. Yes. There's an easy way to fix that. The color breaking part, it's an easy way to fix that too, which is interesting that it's not getting fixed on an Apple TV show or on a Netflix show. I don't know why it's not getting fixed. It's a pretty easy fix, and I'll talk about that when I do my live stream. CST, exposure, contrast. See, I do all exposure and all contrast, all that stuff before CST. So I know you're doing the CST bookends, but I don't do any of that. Yeah, Lumamix. Yeah, you can jump into those sliders now and just grab that blue, and you can change the density of the blue, and you wouldn't have this issue. Um, is it going to affect the other blues in the frame that maybe you're looking for? Yes, but it's like, why are we trying to break the image so it looks like film? Just make it look good. Don't make it look like film. Okay, I'm signing off with that. Thanks for hanging, everyone. We'll do this again soon. I'll try to make another video Monday for Tuesday. Hold me to it. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. We'll see ya. Oh, saying goodbye to everyone here. Yes.